What is up, YouTube? This is Joe from Zephyrwargames, and I'm bringing you guys an update to one of my favourite decks of the game, and that is Gamamon. More specifically, Gamma Links. I have been thoroughly enjoying this style of play with Gamamon, essentially using Gamamon as a galaxy-like toolbox to go into whatever Digimon I like at that point in time. So, before we get into this, if you enjoy this video, give us a like and subscribe down below and ding that notification bell, because obviously if you enjoy the content here on the channel, you want to see more content here on the channel. So that subscribe button and all that helps me greatly and helps us greatly, but also means you don't miss out on the content. So with all that's done, let's get into Gamma Links post EX8. So most of the deck's ratios and cards are essentially the same from the previous lists. Our top end is essentially changed. You could probably guess what it is. So 4 copies of the RB1 Gurumon. When something gets tucked underneath, draw 1 card. For the rookies, we're playing 3 copies of the RB1 Gamamon. Look at top 3, add any card with Gamma in text and a hero Manakawa. Inherit if you're Gamma in text, gain 2k. This is our main forms of consistency. But we're not playing 4 copies of it because, as I believe I explained in the previous video, not everything in the deck is Gamamon, and so we don't want to play the searcher that searches only Gamamon cards, because we're going to be bottom decking our important stuff at the top end. So we're playing other cards in the deck to mitigate that option. 4 copies of the promo Gamamon of plus 2000 if you have Hero Manakawa in play. 4 copies of the BT8 Gamamon if you play a red tamer, draw 1 card, and inherit if you have 6000 more DP, delete something with 3000 or less. And lastly, 2 copies of the promo 58 Gamamon. If you have a red tamer, you can attack opponents unsuspended Digimon. No inheritable effect. Bear in mind, these abilities you're going to be adding to your top end, so you will be able to attack unsuspended Digimon, and you'll be able to draw more cards if you play another red tamer. Moving on to the champions, I believe it's all the exact same. 3 copies of the RB1 Battle Gamamon. If you don't have a hero in play when Digivolving, play hero, and it has raid. 3 copies of the Blitz Battle Gamamon. 2 copies of the RB1 Resin Gamamon for the blocker. 1 copy of the BT10 Resin Gamamon for the piercing. 1 copy of BT9 Cast Gamamon for the You Can't Be Blocked. I'm loving this card right now. The same blocker is so prominent right now with essentially Mother Shoto decks running around and all that kind of stuff. Like, blocker in general has just been so strong currently. So being able to just get your stack unblockable via the condition, like the trait blocker, but also being able to spawn this off your Proxima one to end your turn when your opponent has like no security left. It's just like, if you don't get rid of this, and you have to get rid of it twice because the moment it dies, Proxima brings it back, like, I'm just safely springing for game. Like, at that point, the only thing stopping you is ace timing. And then 1 copy of the Guru Gamamon from RB1 to round off our champions. For our ultimates, 4 copies of the RB1 Kana Weissmar, the best ultimate in this deck. Being able to warp on a Gamamon level 3 for free memory, absolutely phenomenal card. Just really gets your stacks coming back. 2 copies of the BT8 Kana Weissmar. I believe it's BT8. Was it BT10? BT10. Well, I think that the first game was support game BT8. Yeah, the BT10 Kana Weissmar. Gain 2k when tamer gets tapped, and if it reaches 12,000, you gain set +1. And then 1 copy of the Zemetsumon from BT16. Being able to digivolve, so as long as it's opposing Digimon who's equal or less DP than you. I really like the digivolve, even though our new addition to the deck can't evolve on this. I still like to have them on option. We still have 5 ultimates that the new card can evolve on, so being able to still have this one option that our Gamamon Mega and our Volcanic Digimon can still evolve on this. I really like still the Digivolve option. Moving on to our Megas, we're playing still 3 copies of the Volcanic Digimon. The old build played 4, but we needed to make space for the new edition, so we're still playing 3 copies of the Volcanic Digimon. Having the stun ability of your opponent can't move or play things for 6,000 or less, being able to just swing, just delete something of the lowest thing, and when it leaves the battle area you get to replace him with a Sky Dragon, meaning all of our kind of ice mons are free targets for that, being able to let you to climb your stack again. And our brand new edition, 3 copies of EX8 Medieval Gallantmon. Yes, this is Medieval Gamma Lynx. I love this card. This card fits so nicely in the deck. It is a shame we had to reduce this. I'd probably drop this down to 2 and just bump up the Volcanic Digimon, or play a Metallic Digimon. Not too sure exactly at the moment, but I'm paying 3 copies of this right now. This card's absolutely phenomenal. So you can reduce the display cost by 4, making it a 7 cost drop. It evolves on 3. Evolves for 3 memory on greens and red ultimates. And yeah, so you can drop this card by 4 memory by just suspending 2 Digimon in the field. Doesn't have to be yours. It has Alliance and Vortex, meaning it can swing the turn that it is played, essentially having pseudo rush and blitz, but you have to attack into an opponent's Digimon. Which, bear in mind, if you evolved into this, you can, just give it, the ability to attack unsuspended Digimon. So, when Digivolving, suspend a Digimon full stop, then you can delete something with 8,000 or less. If for each suspended Digimon in play, you can add 3,000 to this DP based deletion effect. And it's all turns, once per turn. If a Digimon is played, you can trigger this Digimon's when Digivolving effect. He does see himself being played, so if you do play him to the field for like 7 memory, you will be able to trigger when you want to suspend a 3rd thing, and then delete something with 8,000 or less, etc. So really amazing card. It's like the most toolboxy card in the game right now. Like every other deck is playing this card. Yeah, so I'm really glad this card is in the game and it's in the deck right now. Like, I love Medieval Gallantmon as a Digimon, and having now like an actual good Medieval Gallantmon in the game with such an amazing old art to boot, like, really makes me happy. So we're playing 3 copies of this. Our last level 6 is 2 copies of Arcturusmon. Is our Gamamon Mega that we're choosing to play. Tuck something underneath when Digivolving, then delete a Digimon whose level is equal to a less amount of sources you have, and his on delete is to recur any Digimon from trash. So yes, you can recur your lost Medievals and your lost Volcanic Digimons from trash with this card's ability. So allowing 1 Mega to get into your next Mega from the trash essentially is phenomenal. To round up our Digimon is 2 copies of Proximamon. Proximamon can evolve on any of these because they evolve on red naturally. So yes, you are always playing 6, but again, this is our go wide option in the deck, as well as still being spot removal. Moving on to Tamers, we're playing 4 copies of RB1 Hero Monokara, the best tamer in the deck. Tuck something once per turn to draw 1 and gain 1, as long as it's a Gamamon name you're tucking with. But you can tuck it underneath anything. So you can tuck any of the level 3s and 4s underneath any of your Digimon here. And then we're playing 2 copies of Shoto Kazuma. So I tried this deck for a little at a locals when EX8 first came out. And I didn't have Shoto in here. I had the 2 trainings that we're no longer playing. So our last cards in the deck are just 2 Garnets and 1 Scramble. And it was weird. Like, I wasn't sure why the deck wasn't performing as well as I hoped, as well as it did in testing. But like, yeah, the deck just had some odd struggles, and I wasn't sure it was the Medieval's problem and its fault, but I think I was trying to focus on Medieval so much that I couldn't really like unlock its full potential without the Kazuma. So I'm now trying Shoto in the deck to not essentially get the blocker, but to allow Medieval to unsuspend, so, and gain blocker himself. So he'll be able to be offensive and then defensive. I'm swapping the 2 trainings for it because the idea is that I'm swapping something to reduce my cost by 2 for a card that is just always going to give me 1 memory. The Shoto is also just flexible. It can give any of my Digimon blocker and piercing. I believe, yes, piercing as well. So it does allow Medieval to spring into something with Vortex and then still get its like potential 2 checks with the Alliance. So yeah, so adding these cards lets this card be a lot more powerful. But I might now just drop Medieval to 2 and then either bump Volcanic up or put in the 1 training back in the deck. Not too sure exactly, still tweaking it out a bit. But yeah, this is the deck concept right now. Yep, so we have Medieval Gamma Lynx. Really enjoying it, really enjoying this card. Just really enjoying the concept of the Gamamon engine right now. And still, you know, rocking the Volcanic Dramon is just still amazing in this deck. So if you enjoyed this, give us a like and subscribe down below. Ding that notification bell so you don't see more future content. Until next time, guys, as always, stay safe and of course, happy dueling.